everybody? It's your girl, Sophie Soph, back here on Sofia's Football Talk to, of course, do a short but sweet match reaction as we discuss, talk about, look at the highlights for the Man United Liverpool game. I stayed up all night for this particular game. Apologies if my voice is a little bit more soft spoken, ASMR vibes, but literally clock is about to be 4 a.m. when I'm filming this, so people be sleeping. But either way, we're here. Before we fully, of course, start to dissect the game, make sure that you give this video here a big thumbs up, because the more likes we get, the more we're able to push the video out there for new people to see. Subscribe as well. We're still on the road to 3K subscribers, so let's make that happen, shall we? And indeed, join the SFT membership, another way to support the channel. Obviously, game ended in 3-0 to Liverpool. I personally don't think that the result, the scoreline, actually reflects the overall game. In my opinion, I do think there are some positives that we for sure can take away from it. But first and foremost, in the 9th minute, Carvalho makes it 1-0. Okay? And I believe it was an assist from Diogo Jota. Carvalho absolutely done did. Casemiro, Lord have mercy, that was not cute. How Casemiro was literally at some point on all fours. The way he was slipping to the ground, not cute. And then Wambi out of position. Didn't look good at all. So that was in the 9th minute. In the 35th minute, Liverpool makes it 2-0. Kurt Jones scores. Okay, Salah assist. Poor defending. Indeed. Not good. Not good at all. I think in this case, Toby Collier should have done better. Yeah, and that's something you learn from. Hey, I've been praising the kid for sure, but that was not good. And that's okay to admit. In the 60th minute, Liverpool makes it then 3-0 with Tsimikas. Here, it was an Onana howler, and I also think Wambi, poor communication, you could say. Yeah, poor communication. But the starting 11 was as follows: Onana, Amas, Wambi, Lindelöf, Evans, Casemiro, Collier, Mount, Sancho, Ahmad, and Rashi. And in first half, Rashi, I felt like, was really on it. He looked mad confident. There were a couple of chances that he had that he probably should have scored, but he looked good in my opinion. I felt like Mount looked decent. I was a bit shocked when I saw him in that 10 role, but he made it work. And he did look decent. He had one big opportunity that, to be fair, he should have scored. Another one that he might have gotten on his bad foot, but regardless, should have scored. There were goal scoring opportunities that he got on the end of that he definitely should have for sure scored. But hey, I digress. Collier felt like was alright, but of course, like I said, for the second goal was poor. But I felt like the thing is, off the ball pressing, hey, does well. And I believe he did a recent interview, I think it might have been with MUTV prior to this game, where he did talk about, he kind of knows some of his deficiencies on the ball, but he's not going to shy away from calling for the ball. But he knows that, of course, hey, I do have stuff that I need to work on. But at least you got that self-awareness. At least it's not like you're assuming that you're the top dog and that, you're all that, but then you're kind of letting in or being a big reasons to why we put in, conceded that second goal. At least you know what you need to work on, and that's nice. Because I do think there's potential there for sure with Toby Collier. I do like what he's offering. I think he needs to work a bit more on his passing. But that's where you have to, of course, start developing players, indeed. Casemiro, very poor for the first goal. And there were, I'm pretty sure he played for the majority of the whole game, even in second half. At some stage, he had to be played as a center back because, with injuries, there was no other options. And that kind of says a lot. Wambi, probably most likely the last ever game he has in a Man United shirt. He had to be subbed off a little bit later in the second half. Hopefully it's nothing serious. It looked to be that it was more so he got something in his eye. I don't know. I just hope that it's not a knock, because imagine that is going to kind of stop the move for him to go to West Ham. That would be very concerning if that actually happens. Lindelöf, shocking today. Lindy, he has to go as well. Evans, bless his heart, didn't have the best of game. He didn't. So this is very apparent with the defense that, when you be having these injuries, we still, of course, have players that are not yet back in the team. Shaw is yet to come back. Lisandro Martinez, Dallo. We're also planning to get a Masraoui in, stuff like that. And Delict, of course, is also somebody we're looking to get in. So this whole back line is not going to be what we saw today. That's not going to be the case. Amas, I felt like there's a lot of positive things that I did see with Amas, but I do think that the physicality in this particular game was a bit too much for him. And it showed. So therefore, it's okay to be optimistic with the kid and think slowly we integrate him into the first team. But this is not going to be somebody that you should be expecting to start in the week in, week out, and to properly be challenging a Luke Shaw or Malassi whenever he's fit, or, Masraoui can actually play on either side. But regardless, it's more so you got to slowly develop the kid and integrate him here and there, but don't put too much pressure on the kid, in my opinion, because he ain't really ready. But I do still see some possibilities. We have to fill up a little bit more, of course. Ahmad and Sancho, I felt like was not really fully in the game. I think Ahmad maybe grew a little bit more in the second half, but it wasn't as exciting as it was in some of the other games, especially like the Real Betis game, to mention one. But Rashford, I think, out of the full front three, looked the best for me. In second half, we ended up making substitution of Bennett, McTominay, Fish for Evans, Lindelöf, and Rashi. And in the 62nd minute, after we conceded the third goal, you had the likes of Wheatley, Eriksen, Anthony that got subbed in for Mount, Collier, and Ahmad. Mount ended up playing more so on the wing. Prior to that, it looked a bit like, and I feel very bad for Fish, who then literally 9 minutes after not even 9 minutes, basically 20 or so minutes after he got subbed in the second half, had to then be subbed off. He had to be carried by, on a stretcher because he hurt his ankle. So Oyedele came in, Murray came in for Amas, and Mate came in for Sancho. And then in the 82nd minute, you have Ibisaka, who had to be subbed off for Scallon. So overall, for me, I think we started second half all right. Midway though, lost momentum. We created a lot of chances, but we weren't able to put those chances, nip them in the bud, if that makes sense. So I think what's concerning is when you don't have players, you see the proper lack of depth, you see the lack of quality when you do be switching and changing up a couple of players. Because there are some of them that just aren't really needle movers, they don't really offer much, and I think we just kind of have to move on. But if there's some positive that we can take away, is I do think we look pretty. There's something interesting with the attack, but I do think that if we had a proper striker in there instead of having like a Sancho playing as a false nine, I think we probably could have scored some of those goals and the game could have been a lot more tight. So like I said, this game I don't feel like was an overall 3-0 game. It wasn't. And of course it's easy to just be like, oh, y'all got trash. The result is not good. Don't get it twisted. But I'm not gonna sit there and be like pissed. For me, the most important thing is, can we build off of this from some of the positive things that we saw? We know that there are a couple of players that still are yet to come into the team. The whole backline we saw today, like I mentioned earlier, will not be looking like this. So we know that defense will be much better. It should be, but we have to go into the transfer market. So make sure that McTominay leaves, Wan-Bissaka leaves, Lindelöf leaves, and bring me some proper players. I think, yes, you get a De Ligt in, but if we can get another centre back, come on, honey. You get Mazraoui in as well, and then you make sure you get 2 midfielders in, a Ugarte, and if the second one has to be a Rabiot, then so be it. Might as well also take an Amrabat in a loan. Heck. But something has to give, and we need to make sure that we fix this. Wrap it up before the Community Shield. But yeah, I want to of course hear your thoughts as well in the comment section. What did you think about the game? Let me know. Of course, as well, before you leave this video, like this video as well. Subscribe to the channel. Still on the road to 3K subscribers, so let's make it happen. Join the SFT membership. Link is in the description box. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Sofia out. Bye.